All right, well, it is 11:10, December 11th, and we will call the Electric Utility Board meeting to order.
Mr. Chairman, it is 11:10 and I'll call the Lubbock City Council to order.
Mr. Rose or Jenny, do we have anyone signed up for public comment or via email?
We do not.
Hold on one second. Sorry, I had a guy out there with a gas blower. All right, we're now recessing into executive session in accordance with VTCA Government Code 551.086 on competitive matters of LP&L and VTCA Government Code 551.071 seeking advice of consultation with LP&L's attorneys and VTCA Government Code 551.072 to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, and value of real property.
Mr. Chairman, the City Council will hold an executive session today for the purpose of consulting with the city staff regarding competitive matters of the public power utilities under section 551.086 of the Texas Government Code, pending or contemplated litigation or settlement offers, and hold consultation with attorneys under section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code, and discussing the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property under section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code. It's 11:11 and the Lubbock City Council is recessed into executive session.
All right, and for attendance, I see Kevin, Gwen, Solomon, Greg, Butch, Jane, Eddie, and it does appear that Dawn is now on, so we have all our members present, Jenny, for attendance. We will click over into exec and see you guys over there.
Thank you.
All right, it's 12:41, and we will reconvene here in open session. Mr. Massico?
Mr. Chairman, it is 12:42. The Lubbock City Council is recessed from executive session, and we no longer have a quorum, so I will adjourn the Lubbock City Council meeting for today.
Thank you, sir. Item 6, we need to approve the minutes from the EUB board meeting on November 13th, 2020. They're there in your packets. I will entertain a motion for those.
So moved.
Second it.
Motion and a second. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
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 I think I counted 9 ayes. Any opposed? Are the same? That one carries. Item 7, Mr. McCullough.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As is usual, I will quickly hit a few highlights from the written director's report and then respond to any questions that you may have about any of the items in the report. On page 17, I wanted to call attention to some of the work that Matt is doing on social media. He's routinely calling out individual employees in the organization and highlighting the jobs that they do. And so in a recent story there, he pointed out Amy Sue Sterling. She's a trainer for us, trains call center employees and CSRs. And she has a great smile, as you can see from the picture there, and she does a really good job for us. So I really enjoy reading these reports from time to time on employees and what they do. Also on that page, you'll see some attention drawn to winter weatherization, which weatherization is probably the #1 thing that customers can do to reduce their energy usage. And so we're calling attention to that. Over on page
David.
20. Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I'm not getting the pictures.
Well, we have a slideshow and we do not have the agenda on the screen. So this might be a little hard for those that don't have a hard copy of the report, unless you have a way of looking at the.
There, now I have it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the presentation, not the PowerPoint. We could.
Well, I didn't see the picture of the employees, why I asked.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just hitting a few items from the report.
Okay.
So it's a little difficult for us to have a presentation as well as show the agenda packet, but we'll work on that for future meetings. Maybe we can do that in the future. So on page 26 of the report, I just wanted to point out that the folks have found our new lobby. We had 1,482 customers that came into the lobby for service, and so that number was seemed pretty large to me. If you haven't been in the new lobby of the adjacent to Citizens Tire here, it's really an impressive facility. So I think our folks are really enjoying being over there. On page 27, I'll talk about the AMI report. Itron has completed all of the residential meter exchanges assigned to them. This is for the electric meters, and there are about 100 commercial accounts remaining that they have to do. The remaining meters will be installed by Lubbock staff. So that project is nearing completion. On the water side, Itron has about 1,800 service orders remaining, and the remaining water meters will be installed by City of Lubbock staff. There are still some issues with the network performance, particularly in the water-only service territory. I know that Itron has devoted some effort to mitigation and investigation of a plan to improve overall performance, and that is a work in progress. There is no CIS report in the book. Andy is going to talk about that when you get to item 8. So Andy, if you'd advance the next slide, I've got one other item that I was wanting to talk to you all about, and that's we've made a change to the organization chart. And I know that's probably really hard to see, but Chris Sims, who is the third staff member from the left there. Thank you, Andy. We've assigned some additional responsibilities to Mr. Sims. So we've moved the operations manager and his group, which includes substations, transmission operators, and the EMS administrators. We've moved that group over under Chris. We've also moved the GIS group under Chris. And so he retains the compliance and regulatory responsibilities that he had before. Since those work groups are so heavily focused on compliance activities and getting us ready for a NERC registration in the new transmission operator function, transmission owner function, and the other functions that we're working on, it made sense to move all of that under Chris's responsibility, where he could organize staff to meet those objectives of gaining certification in those new areas. So really pleased that Chris has agreed to accept those new responsibilities, and he's doing a great job. Mr. Sims, do you want to say anything? I see him on the call, but he's muted, so he yeah.
Just thanks for the opportunity, David, and look forward to helping out in every way I can.
Yeah, great to have you in that role. Okay, so at this point, I will let Jason Avent provide the construction report.
Yes, sir. Thank you, David. Good afternoon, board. A few changes to the schedule as was presented last month. As you can see at the very top, under the 115 upgrade summary, that top blue line, there is 4 weeks of added red. So that's added additional construction time. And I wanted to walk the board through that briefly. We don't have a construction slip there. That was a cognizant decision made by the overall team and supported by David and management to better align the end of the Dunbar project closer with the end of voltage conversion. What that was going to do is allow the system to remain whole, to increase system reliability. So typically when you see red, those are due to construction related issues. This is one caveat to that. So I kind of wanted to walk again the board briefly that not a construction issue, just maintaining system reliability. So that will be blue next month. It will no longer be red. Moving down, we have had a pretty busy past 3 weeks, closed out a few projects that we're very happy with. The first one is a Holly to Southeast. It's going to be the first project at 92477. We did finish construction on that one 11/21. Commissioning took a little bit longer than anticipated, but we were successfully able to energize that line on 12/3. So did come in just a little bit longer than what we had targeted, but it is energized now, which really helps bolster the southeast portion of your electric grid. Moving down to co-op substation will be returning to normal on Monday. So here in just a few days, and that is 1 week ahead of what we're showing you on this sheet. So a little improvement from a couple weeks ago when we hit print. Going down to Wadsworth, Wadsworth is placed back normal on 12/9, so that's Wednesday, just a couple days ago. And that is also 1 week ahead of what we're showing you on this screen. So we've had a very busy past couple of weeks, and a few of these projects did get through a little sooner than we were anticipating when we hit print on this for this agenda. The next slide, and if you don't mind, there's real no change here from the previous month. Some of the same concerns in regards to right-of-way. We're showing you the updates for Encore acquisition of the right-of-way parcels. Those are still moving along fairly well. I know previously I brought that up as a higher level risk and concern. We are still watching those, but they are making very good progress in the acquisition of the right-of-way property. Holiday Slayton, the structure vendor experiencing those issues, they're tracking pretty well. I hope by our next board meeting we'll have that material on site and we can remove that item. And the very top one there, the co-op tie-in, obviously we're hoping to have that through here on Monday, and we'll also fall off the list for next month.
Is that Dad?
And pardon? Okay. Mr. Chairman, if there's no questions, that's all I have for this month.
Thank you, Jason.
Hey, Mr. Avent, could you quickly go back a couple of slides to the schedule and talk about voltage conversion? Because before we have our next meeting with the board, we will have commenced the voltage conversion projects.
Yes, sir. So if you look to the middle of the sheet, you're going to see the voltage conversion. It's going to be 9.2 and then XXX is kind of a placeholder. So what that's going to entail is right now we're scheduled to start the first week of January, and we are running the models to ensure that we have the correct action plan in place. But what we will need to do is start at the McDonald portion of your grid, which is kind of more on the northwestern side of town or western side of town. And what that's going to entail is a sequence of converting your system from 69 kV to 115. We will be doing this in a very methodical and I don't want to say slow approach. We'll be moving pretty quickly, but we will not be having any customer outages, no intended customer outages. And that's going to be priority number one for the broader team. I know originally when we proposed the voltage conversion schedule, it was looking to be 3.5, 4 months long. We have trimmed that back while utilizing 2 in-house LP&L crews and some external contractors to serve as auxiliary support, that they will not be primary. But we were able to trim that down, in our opinion, very safely, and again, to no customer impact if possible. But we're looking to stop that at the end of February, first week of March. We'll have the majority of your system converted while saving the co-op and Wadsworth substations. That's what you're going to see on the bottom right there in yellow. Those are kind of have a hit pause, and we'll do that at the very end of the voltage conversion project as we get through with Dunbar. I know I mentioned Dunbar just a little bit ago, and again, that was done. It took some time and consideration and some planning, but we feel from a system reliability, that's the right approach. David, is there anything you'd like to add to?
Well, the reason that we're holding Wadsworth off until the end is because that's the only 230 kV injection point where the auto transformers do not have 115 kV taps. So we wanted to keep that 230 kV injection point feeding into our transmission system as long as we could. And so I thought this was a good plan to keep our system as reliable as possible while we're doing this work.
Any other questions around voltage conversion?
Thank you, Mr. David.
Chairman.
Thank you.
David,
Yes, sir.
you say there will be no outages during these conversions. You'll have the ability to transfer the load to other stations during that time.
Yes, sir. That's the plan, is to because we'll have to clear the stations one at a time when we're changing taps, but we will in some cases be able to switch transformers around one at a time so that an individual transformer remains hot in that substation. In other cases, we'll have to transfer the load on the distribution side, but we think this time of year with load being where it is, that we'll be able to do that.
That's good. Thank you.
All right, Andy, I don't know who's on item 8.
Yeah, I'll take that. You know, we're still a little bit on hiatus from presenting the balance sheet and income statement each month as we're going through the audit. So I wanted to basically provide you with kind of the timeline of where we are right now with regard to that. Weaver continues to do our external audit. They're on site at the present time. So in the month of September, basically that was the planning timeline, walkthroughs, SAS 99 interviews, which are fraud interviews for management and audit committee. That's already come and gone. November 30th, right after Thanksgiving, Weaver did come on site to the city and at LPNL, and will be here through the middle part of January doing their field work. During the month of December, we as staff will be completing all the financials, the footnotes, all the schedules and statistical sections that are required for the annual financial report. And then at the end of the month and into about the third week of January, the auditors will be reviewing our financial statements and going through all of that. Throughout the month of January on our side, we'll be completing the MD&A, or the management discussion and analysis piece of the annual financial report, and we'll be reviewing the final annual financial report, or CAF, or comprehensive annual financial report. So that'll be ongoing during that month. At the beginning of February, we will be planning to have that day as the presentation from Weaver to the Finance Committee and to the city's Audit and Investment Committee. So we'll be needing to reach out once all the committees are formed after today's meeting to make sure that date will work with all of you that are going to be on the Finance Committee. If that date doesn't work, you know, since we're basically at Zoom at this point in time, I'm sure we could be a little bit more flexible than maybe we have been in past years and schedule that at a time that fits everybody's schedule. Then in the middle of February on the 16th, Weaver will present the audit to the Electric Utility Board at the February meeting. And then following that on the 23rd, they will be presenting it to the City Council. So that kind of gives you an idea. Closer towards the end of February, we'll have that complete and ready for publication. Also, as part of the presentation today, I wanted to go over a little bit on the collections metrics. On page 23 of your document are the reports that we've been provided on a monthly basis. I just wanted to highlight a few. Again, the total past dues are trending in the right direction. They're coming back down. We had as high as about $4.5 million $4.2 million in past due amounts in the July timeframe. That's now come down to about 3.6 million. It's still elevated. Typically at this time of the year would be about 3 million in past dues. So it's up about 600,000 over where we might see it, but it is trending down as we move along. The assistance that we have available for our customers, that continues to be at an elevated amount. More customers are receiving assistance. The dollars are up. So there is still dollars available for customers who are having a need for that. We're continuing to let the customers know who they need to reach out to in regard to that assistance. And finally, as you know, we have reinstituted daily disconnections. The numbers have been relatively low per day. Less than 100 a day is what has occurred at this point, even though there are substantially more customers that are actually subject to disconnection. A lot of that is being driven by lower staff levels because of COVID. We've been pretty severely impacted on staffing as far as that goes. And so that slowed it down. And then also weather, you know, when temperatures are at certain levels, we halt disconnection. So that has kept the numbers lower. Our goal right now is to do no more than 200 a day. That would be able to we'd be able to sustain that level with our current levels of staffing once, if they're all here. Unfortunately, we have had a number out from COVID related reasons. Just a reminder, payment arrangements are still available. Even though we don't have the Pay in 6 plan any longer, they are still available. They extend a due date typically 15 days beyond the disconnect date. So that gives folks a little bit of extra time. Again, we're continuing to work with customers on a case-by-case basis. We know there are some customers who have extenuating circumstances, and so we're continuing to work with them to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help them out. Again, for our customers' perspective, the benefits of payment arrangements are that you can avoid your late fees once you're set up on one. It avoids disconnection as long as you're able to meet the terms of your payment arrangement, and obviously it gives you a little bit extra time to make that payment if it's timing issues that are coming into play. The way our customers can set up those payment arrangements, first of all, is online. It's a very quick and easy way to set it up. That is probably the quickest, fastest way to do it. You can also, as a customer, email us at customerfirst@cityoflubbockutilities.com. Provide us with your name and an account number and a phone number, and we can get back to you and help you get that set up. Or you can call us at our call center. The wait times have been a little bit longer lately just due to the number of folks that have been out with illness. So the first two items are actually the quickest way. The third one, you may have to wait a little bit, but we're doing our best to answer those calls. And again, we're sending folks to assistance agencies if they're having problems. I told Mr. Fields last board meeting I'd bring this back to the board just to put this up on the screen and for our customers. All the agencies that are available, most of these agencies currently are still preferring handling a lot of the assistance applications over their websites. However, give them a call or you can visit them in person, but I think for the most part, they are preferring to do the website. I know that's not available for everybody, so I do think they're still taking calls. We will be sure, actually on our website, we have all the phone numbers listed as well, in addition to the website for our customers.
Mr. Bertrand, can you send me a soft copy of that to my email?
Absolutely, be glad to.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next topic, the billing system. David mentioned a moment ago that we didn't have a report. It's unfortunate we didn't have the report in. We meant to, it just didn't make it into the book. So I wanted to give you an update. The go live is, I think we mentioned to the board last month, we have shifted that till February the 22nd. And a lot of that has to do with the significant impact we've had from COVID on our project team, as well as our vendors who are working on this. And so that has slowed us down from where we would have liked to have been. Our original go live was December the 7th. So we've pushed that out a little over a couple of months out. We've also had issues with interfaces with some of the other software that interplays with our billing system. Since we're implementing a cloud solution, a lot of the vendors who maybe not have done as much work with that are getting up to speed and getting that working. But things are very well on track at this point, especially with delaying that a little bit. We feel much more comfortable that we'll be able to get that with as minimal of an issues as we can. Our focuses currently are on those interfaces and testing those interfaces, making sure they're all working appropriately. We're working on the bills. As you know, Kubra is our third party that handles the bill creation and mailing those out for us. And so we're continuing to validate all of those to make sure everything is working correctly. We're monitoring the daily batches to ensure that those are completing without errors. Our day in the life has been very impacted because of COVID, but as folks are able to come back, we're getting used to the system, doing the day in the life processes that they'll be doing once the system goes live. So that's one area that we're spending a lot of effort on. We'll be continuing to get the readiness planning underway for go live, and we'll be continuing to finish out all the reports that are still outstanding to get everything that we need once we go live, that we'll have all the information at our disposal. Along with that delay, we will be having to bring back some amendments to contracts with 3 of our vendors, with Oracle, with TMG, and with Group 7. So we'll be bringing those back to you at our January meeting to extend the time of those agreements, and also there will be a dollar impact to those agreements. So we're still working on negotiating those costs right now, but we'll have that for you next month, and we'll be able to update you on all of the impacts related to what the delay has caused. So that's my update for this month from a financial standpoint. So if y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Mr. Bertrand, do you anticipate any downtime prior to the go live of the CIS system?
No, sir. We'll be planning that over a weekend. And so I don't believe, Jamie, if you want to, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we're going to minimize that downtime as much as possible. There may be a day, but Jamie, what do you?
Yeah, we're gonna minimize it as much as possible, but there will be a few days. I know we've been working with Matt on customer communication as well. It's really just gonna be a matter of, 3 to 5 days maximum, but we're gonna minimize it as much as possible and have it happen over the weekends.
I guess particularly what I was talking about is customer access and interaction from website to collections to in-office visits. Are any of those operations impacted?
The website particularly will be one that will be impacted greatly. And that is directly the reason why we won't be having collections over that time frame. So we'll make sure to coordinate all of those things.
Jamie, you cut out on me.
We're hearing you.
Sorry about that. The website is going to be the one main thing that the customer.
Still a little, Jamie. We can still, is yours very, very quiet.
The website. Hold on. I'm going to get as close to my microphone as possible. Does that help?
Better. Thank you.
The customer website is the most affected. So we won't be doing any collections around that time.
If y'all can hear me, what Jamie is trying to say is that the website will be impacted and there will be downtime for that. So what her staff has been making sure of is that everybody is communicating across, collections and customer service so that as we experience that downtime, you won't have customers impacted in the way that they can't log on to pay their bill and therefore a collection action is taken against them. So any disconnections or late fees or any of those types of things would be obviously put on hold before and after the website has to go down for the switchover. And part of what we're doing on the communication side, and we put all of this together for the initial go live that was then delayed, is well ahead of time, making sure customers know that during this block of time, you won't be able to access your account, but you should not worry that that's going to adversely impact you in the long term, because we're going to put a moratorium on those collection efforts until it's brought back up and everybody can access their account.
Thank you, Matt.
Jamie, you might want to, I'm sorry, Michelle, you might want to kind of update the board on how you'll handle collections, because I know you're going to put a pause on a lot of those efforts.
Sorry. Yes, we will be halting all collection efforts in the week or so prior to the go live. And then I believe it's going to be about a month before we revamp that to give our customers really give us time on the system to go through the stabilization process before we re-implement the any kind of collection efforts.
And if you can hear me, Matt really hit it on the head. We're really going to do all of the customer communication as much as possible leading up to that, so that they understand that they will not be able to pay online. We're going to have pop-ups on the website about a month ahead of time before that to let them know any kind of communication on the bill, whatever we can do to let the customers know that that's going to be the issue. Now, our CSRs will still be able to answer the phones. Depending on the specific time that the customer calls, they may or may not be able to provide the customer with information that's needed, but they will still be able to, for example, take a service order to move them. just it depends on the day, but the call center will still be able to answer the phones and assist the customer. It just depends on how and when, and that's all something that we'll have finalized prior to go live.
Right, and we will also continue to, if a customer was previously impacted by any kind of collection efforts or anything like that, if they called during this down period, we will still be able to get their services restored. We'll have access to view their data. We just won't be able to update anything in our computer system. So we'll be doing some manual efforts to get everything completed so that we still have seamless service to our customers in terms of having services connected.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Am I correct that all the account numbers will change?
Yes,
Yes.
that's correct.
Yes.
That will be automatic? The customer won't have to worry about automatic pay or anything like that?
That's correct. And a lot of communication will be going out prior to go live to let customers know what changes they'll be seeing from a customer facing perspective. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, ladies. Is that everything, Andy, under item?
Yes, sir. That is it. Mhm.
That'd be item 8. Okay. Item 9, we need to consider, nominate, and elect officers of the Electric Utility Board, and take action on that if we come across some officer positions up for December. Yes, go ahead, Greg.
I'd like to make a nomination of a slate of officers. Nominate the following: Dan Odom as chairman, Kevin McMahon as vice chairman, Gwen Stafford as secretary.
Okay, we have a nomination for that slate. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Solomon. Any discussion there? If not, we'll do this. I guess we'll do it in order. I'll take Don. In favor of that, please say aye.
Aye.
Solomon, in favor, say aye.
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 Greg, if you're in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Just trying to go down this, make it a little easier than counting up 9 ayes. Gwen, if you're in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Both the same. Kevin, in favor, say aye.
Aye.
In favor. Butch.
Aye.
Jane. Are you there?
Aye. Aye.
Myself, aye. Do we forget anyone there on my list here? We got everyone.
Aye, you forgot me, Dan.
Sorry, Eddie. I
No
apologize.
problem.
You weren't on the screen there.
He called you
I have
first.
Andy on in your spot, so Andy
I
didn't
know.
go there.
That's all right, no problem.
All right, that motion passes. You good with that, Jenny?
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 10, discuss committee assignments, take possible minute action to appoint to 1, the technical review committee, 2, financial review committee, 3, human resources committee, and 4, the project helping hand committee. So these are generally, I know a few of you came up to me after the last meeting when we passed around the list and everything. And so I did my best to get everyone on said committee that they were. But for the technical review committee, Butch Davis was our chair last year. I would like to keep him as chair there. Move Dawn to the technical review committee. Then our officer liaison there would be Kevin. Financial review committee, we would have Eddie as our chair. Greg will fill in that role, and Kevin, you'd be our officer liaison there as well. Human Resources Committee would have Greg as our chair, Eddie on that one, and then Gwen is our officer liaison there. She handled that one for us last time. And then Project Helping Hand, still have Jane as our chair there. put Solomon on there and have Gwen as an officer liaison there. Any discussion there? I guess we need to take action first. So I would entertain a motion for those appointments.
Move to approve.
Got a motion? Got a second. All right, we'll go down the list again.
Sorry,
Solomon?
sorry to interrupt. Who is the second?
Butch Davis.
Thank you.
Solomon, if you're in favor, please say so by saying aye. Or opposed?
Aye.
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 Aye from Butch. Jane? Jane, you're on mute. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Eddie?
Yes, sir.
Don?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And Gwen?
Aye.
Myself, aye. None were opposed. That one also carries. There's no other business listed here, so the consent agenda, items 11, 13. I would assume everyone's had a chance to read those. If there's no discussion on those, I'll entertain a motion for those.
I move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Motion by
Second.
second there by Gwen. I'm gonna do this with thumbs up. All those in favor, do so by saying aye.
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 Thumbs down for anyone opposed that I see here. That one carries also 9-0. All right, brings us to item 14. Before we adjourn, I do believe y'all give us more updates for the January meeting. We'll be doing this by Zoom again or anything like that. So just keep us posted for that, Jenny, if you would. I mean, it'll be in your city email as well if you need those meeting ones if we do this again. So
What is the date of that January meeting, Dan?
let me look real quick, sir.
That's the one with the state of the city?
Yes, sir, I believe so. The 19th is what I have it on my calendar from 1:30 to 4:30.
Same as our normal day, is just later in the day, so that anyone that wants to attend the state of the city can do so.
But you say it will be virtual?
Not sure yet. That's the current directive from the city, is that all board and commission meetings be by Zoom. We'll see if things change between now and then.
All right.
Good.
Thank you guys. Everyone have a good weekend. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And meeting is adjourned.
Same here. You bet.
Thank you very much.
Aye.
Take care.
Merry Christmas.
Merry, Merry.